Hi, Damien here for Automotive Superstore. This is Kenwood's DMX5023S. It's their brand new entry-level CarPlay and Android Auto head unit, but the features inside this are anything but entry-level. Let's check it out. So let's kick off with what comes inside the box. The main power loom comes there. That gives you your power connections and your connections to the internal amplifier. And this, by the way, is 22 watts RMS by 4. You get a GPS antenna, an extension. This is just for the handbrake connection to allow the screen to work. This is a fascia surround for the front. For some vehicles you'll need. Owner's manuals in multiple languages and your mounting screws. What's not in here is an external Bluetooth microphone, because on these, the microphone is built into the front of the face. Now, the chassis on these are what Kenwood calls an L-type or an L-shaped chassis. That means that the top section of the rear of the chassis can be removed, and the part that protrudes is on the lower half of the face. It's the lower section, and that means it works well for certain Mazda and Toyota vehicles. So let's go through the basics. It's a 6.8-inch capacitive touch screen, 1024 by 600 pixels. It'll also play back 1080p video files from a flash drive. I also tested some audio files up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz and happily played back all of those too, which is nice. It may play higher, but that's as high as I could test. Front, rear and sub RCA pre-outs with 2.5 volts RMS of signal strength. One USB connection with 1.5 amps of charging, and it has front and rear camera inputs. Let's dive into the menus and have a look at what else it's got. So firing up the DMX5023S, Apple CarPlay standard screen, swipe left and right to access your apps. Here you'll find all your music, your communication apps and navigation apps. The Android Auto menu system works almost exactly the same, the difference being you swipe up and down instead of left and right. Come back and go into the Kenwood logo here and come back to the main screen. This little icon here. And we can choose our sources from here. So Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, USB mirroring. So yeah, this unit can screen mirror both Android and iPhones simply through the USB. There is a third-party app it asks you to download. Once it's downloaded, you press a couple of keys and away you go. A quick demo here. I'll just play a video via VLC media streamer. And there you go. USB here for movies or music. Hit the little gear icon over here. So in AV. So these are nice things to be able to adjust, and Kenwood gives you a nice amount of scope of adjustment of all of these things. Your guidance and your phone, incoming phone volume. And display. Got a bunch of wallpapers that they've got in there to play around with. Or you can add one via a flash drive yourself. Connections for Bluetooth, obviously, to set up your Bluetooth for your phone, and then up here is audio. So, first of all, let's talk about the crossover. If we head into the crossover itself, here you can see we choose front, rear, or subwoofer. Let's just say we go front. We can choose the frequency between as low as all the way through, so no filter. And then 30 Hertz all the way up to 250 Hertz. We can then adjust the slope between 6, 12, 18, and 24 dB per octave. And then you have individual channel gain, or that's channel pair gain here. Okay, so each pair of channels can be adjusted compared to the other pairs in the car. Then there's what we call tweeter gain. If you look here, it's a shelving gain, and it's a great little system that means that you can adjust the tweeter level relative to that of the mid-range drivers in the front of the car without having to run them off their own independent channel. And back here, you can select the size of tweeter, so there can be no tweeter in the system, small, medium or large. Depending on which you choose, that shelf band of frequencies will be wider. So in large, it's a wider band that is reduced. If I go back and change that to small, let me come back, we'll see that it's a much narrower band of frequencies because a smaller tweeter will only play a narrower band of frequencies. I really like this function, it's really handy. Equalizer. We have a 13 band graphic equalizer with a host of preset memories. Three user storable memory settings, which is really nice, and then you can just go back to flat at any time. Subwoofer level control is here as well. Position DTA, that's digital time alignment. Now you can shortcut that if you don't really know what you're doing with time correction and just try to see what it sounds like by setting it for front right for the driver or front left for the passenger, or front all compared to the rear of the car, all just sets it all back to 0 again. Or you can go to adjust and you can adjust each one individually. It shows you centimeters and milliseconds at the same time. You can see here delay and level. You can go into level and you can adjust each individual channel's level as well. And that's really important because proper time correction is a combination of adjusting the arrival time and the arrival intensity to get it just right. Volume offset's kind of nice. You can set the relative levels of the different sources, so USB versus radio versus Bluetooth versus CarPlay, so that when you jump between sources you don't get a big variance in volume. And lastly, sound effects. So there's bass boost in 3 levels, loudness, low or high or off, and you can actually turn the built-in amplifier off in this if you choose to. It just cuts down on heat in the back of the dashboard, and that's probably not a terrible idea in as far as longevity of the electronics inside. And so that is Kenwood's DMX5023S. If you'd like to grab one for yourself, down below there will be a link. While you're down there, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you next time.